It is Friday once again, guys. My name is Dean.
And my name is Tyler, and we're here to bring you Champion Review.
As we do every Friday. But before that,
Mostly?
we had some mid-patch updates
Yeah.
on our favorite feline, Yumi.
Everyone's favorite feline.
I have not, obviously in the last episode we talked about we haven't been playing that much, but the few games I have played Summoner's Rift, I'm not even dealing with this thing. Just gone. Banned.
I'm not even... Yeah, I mean, I can't hate on it. That makes perfect sense to me. It seems like it's broken. Obviously, if it needs a hot fix, there's clearly something going on.
Well, I know one of the things we mentioned is like the base damage on our Q is insane.
Right.
So this is what we're going with. So the Q Prowling Projectile Enhanced Damage was 80 to 380 with a 35% AP ratio. Now it is 80 to 355 with a 30% AP ratio. And then the slow on the enhanced slow was 55 to 80%. Now it is 50 to 65. So that's pretty big.
Yeah, no, that one's way bigger.
Yeah, the slow.
I mean, the base damage and the 5%, okay, whatever. I don't think that's that big of a deal, but the slow is huge.
What was her AP ratio on her old Q? The one where people were just rushing Ludens. Was it fat?
Good question. I will find it in
It had
just
to have
one
been,
moment.
because I'd be getting one shot by that shit.
Hang on.
And then they had a little bug fix that said Tale of Two Tiers. Fixed a bug where if Yumi used her W on an ally champion, both Yumi and her ally would receive Tear of the Goddess stacks if they had the item in their inventory. That is
Absolutely
nuts.
broken.
That's broken.
Absolutely fucking broken. Oh,
Yeah, I'm
is it
glad
past versions? Okay.
I started banning that shit. What do you got?
So it was 50 to 200 base with a 30% AP ratio, and then the enhanced was 60 to 260 base plus 40% AP plus 3 to 9% of the target's current health.
Okay, that's why it would hit.
So that's why it would hit hard. Was the 9% is fucking huge. Every target's current health.
Yeah, if they're full HP.
That's pretty fucking nuts.
All right, so a little bit of hits here and there. They're not going to affect me. I'm still banning this piece of shit.
What's nuts too is it only slowed for 20%.
Yeah, this is the enhanced. I mean, so the base slow ability doesn't slow, right? Or is it only enhanced? No, I guess it does.
I think it does.
We literally just talked about this a week ago, and I already forgot.
Yeah, well, that's
I
what
don't
happens
care
when you don't
about
play
this
it often enough.
champion.
Yeah, exactly.
And then the other thing I briefly just wanted to mention, I don't know if we went over this or maybe we just missed this, because did you listen to the dive this week?
I did not.
Okay, so if you scroll down to jungle lane experience, prior to this patch, you would just get 75% of lane experience, right? Of the minions that die. And then they changed that to 40 to 75, 0 through 14 minutes. After 14 minutes, it becomes 100% lane experience.
Oh, wow, I didn't realize that.
No,
I guess I didn't think about that.
no one knew about that. They talked about it on the dive, and it's not... it's not.
I don't think it was supposed to do that.
No, it is. They said. I think Kobe was asking about it with a rioter, and they confirmed it. But it's like not saying that here. I mean,
no, it's not. The assumption when you look at that is it caps out at 75, and that caps out at 14 minutes.
I mean,
that's the assumption I get when I read
guess, that. But maybe they think people would assume, oh yeah, at 14 minutes that's the 75, and then. Anything past 40. It's not clear, is what we're getting at.
No, it's not clear at all.
But that is insane. So, obviously, they don't want a lot of, you taxing if you're jungling early game. But after that 14 minutes, baby, you start split pushing. You get that fucking full XP. So, it was a pretty big change, and I don't think a lot of people caught that.
No, not at all. Apparently not, because we didn't. And it took them explaining on the dive, apparently, to get some of that across, so...
Yeah, so that was a pretty big change. That actually might make me want to play jungle again, but we will see.
Oh,
and then
leading into something. No, just kidding.
No, fuck this game. And then as always, guys, we want to shout out the YouTube. Come on over, check out our shorts. They're pretty fun. We're fun
Yeah,
guys.
my shorts. You want to see my shorts? No, just kidding.
Yeah. Check out the gameplays. We should have another one coming up this weekend. We're getting those out, and yeah, it's a lot of fun.
We've actually been cranking those out a lot.
Yeah. No, it's great. I'm loving it. So yeah, that is all with that. And then yeah, we got Lux and Swain today.
Luxy and Swainy. It's like not the two champions you expect to go together, but fuck it, I'll take it.
So obviously, Swain had a major reworks. Lux didn't really have that much, but we'll go through it and we'll talk about the most important thing about skins. But let's.
You already know it's 100% the most important thing too.
It is. You guys can just skip right whatever we're about to say. Just skip it and then
right. Fuck. Just go right to the skins, man.
But let's look at what Chat GPT has to say about Lux. So,
all right.
Lux is a ranged mage champion in League of Legends, known for her long-range abilities, crowd control, and utility. She is typically played in the mid lane or as a support. Lux passive, Illumination, causes her basic attacks and abilities to mark enemies. I don't think the basic attack one, which can be detonated by her other abilities, dealing additional magic damage. All right, Chat GPT, you're not very smart. Her Q ability, Light Binding, is a skill shot that snares and damages the first enemy hit. Her W ability, Prismatic Barrier, shields herself and nearby allies and can be used to block incoming damage. Her E ability, Lucent Singularity, creates a zone of light that slows and damages enemies. It can also be detonated early for extra damage and a larger slow. Okay. Her ultimate ability, Final Spark, fires a long-range laser that deals heavy damage to all enemies in its path. It can be used to finish off low health targets or low health enemies, clear minion waves, or secure objectives. Lux's playstyle is focused on dealing damage from a distance while providing utility to her team. She excels at poking enemies and setting up kills with her crowd control, making her a valuable pick in teamfights. However, she is relatively squishy and vulnerable to ganks, so proper positioning and awareness of the map are key to her success. Lux often builds items that increase her ability power and cooldown reduction, allowing her to spam her abilities and deal maximum damage.
Every time I think of Lux, all I ever think about is that, and I don't know if you even know this old meme, that I'm a firing my laser. If you remember that from back in the day.
Yeah, I do.
But that's all I ever think about when I think about Lux. Like, I'm a firing my laser.
I think what I think about, and this was the first thought I had when I played League, is she literally does a Kamehameha.
Oh yeah, she does that too. You know, I guess I hadn't thought about it that way, but no, you're right. She Kamehamehas.
All right, so we got Lux. Yep, that's it for Lux. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, looking at her past versions, she went through a lot of ability art updates.
They did, and like I'm looking at, well, part of it is the fact that they renamed her ultimate about 5 times. But then they just, her icons got updated a lot, and they look much better. I mean,
wait, what? Can you read to me what her first R iteration was called?
Talk about Finales Funkin or Funkeln. It just means like the last blast. I think I actually watched a video from. Is it Exel? I think Exel on YouTube. The guy, he usually does a deep dive, like long form, 30 to 40 minute video essays on League, and he did one on Lux because when Lux first came out, and if you want to scroll down to the old splash arts and show the like original splash art, this is good. And even I think the first Sorceress Lux too. When Lux came out, she was like widely ridiculed as the ugliest fucking model that League had ever used for one of their characters. Like it was such a thing that it like transcended being a meme to like just being serious. Like, no, this thing is ugly. Why did you make her so ugly? Like they didn't do that with other characters, other female characters. Why did you guys do this to Lux? And then not only that, her ulti. Oh, I cannot think of, and I wonder if it's in the trivia. The name of her ulti came from something else. Okay, so that was Finalis Funkeln was a German Final Spark. They reference Marissa Kirisame from Tohu Project. That's right. That's right. Um, so that's where they were. I don't know. They were trying to like bring it together a little bit. It just was really fucking weird. But that one's a strange fucking name.
Yeah, it's a little odd on the language.
Yeah, it's so Final Spark. Like the name of it is Marissa Kirisame's last spell.
Okay.
In Imperishable Night is Final Spark. Apparently, it also kind of references Final Flash by Vegeta from DBZ.
There you go. Maybe that'd be a better
So
one than the
when
Kamehameha.
you said Kamehameha, then yeah, I mean that was probably pretty damn close. The other reason it got the German name, and I forgot about this too. Thank you from the freaking video from Exel. The Lady of Luminosity, they think comes from Luminance Fraulein, which is lady in German, which is an ability name during the production. So that's where I think they got the Finalis Funkeln. I need Steven to pronounce this for me so I can say it right. I think that's where they got the name from, is because I think originally they thought like maybe we'll base her off this character, but then we'll make her German, and like it just didn't come together at all. It was like really, really fucking poorly made. So yeah, they changed it, thank God, and then they changed it again, and they changed it again.
And again. Okay.
I mean, it was Finals Funkin in the test realm, apparently, the unreleased content. It was called Malice Cannon. And then it was Infinite Light, and then they finally got the Final Spark. It's like one of the only ones where I've seen the skill get so many fucking names. And all those names are still better than fucking Olaf's E. Is E?
W. His W. Tough it out.
Tough it out, yeah. They're all better than that. Even Ultra Mega Fire Kick is better than that.
Oh my god. Ultra Mega Fire Kick in these nuts.
But alright. So she only had one previous ability, and we'll get to that because it's a W. But I guess first, I guess we'll go the passive. We'll compare that to what ChatGPT said. I think ChatGPT said it works on auto attacks.
It applies.
Okay. So, let me start with it, I guess. It's called Illumination. It says, Lux's abilities apply a mark to enemies hit for 6 seconds, refreshing on subsequent hits. Lux's basic attacks and Final Spark consume the mark to deal 20 to 190 based on level, plus 20% AP bonus magic damage. Basically means that Lux gets like a free sheen hit after she lands an ability.
Yeah, and I don't see people build Lichbane often on Lux, but I feel like it could be good.
You could do it, but the problem with Lux is she's so fucking squishy to like be in range enough to land the auto attack. It's like, nah, just drop the ulti, because the ulti consumes it, and then what people forget, and we'll get back to it though, is it also applies it because it's an ability. So that's just a little passive hack with her that they doesn't tell you really anywhere that it works like that. So,
and of course, this is a snare. This is or a root. Root? Yeah, it's a root. It's not. You can still auto attack and use abilities.
Oh no, we were on the passive.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're right.
No, you're good. You're good. But we can move on to the Q. So, tell us about the Q, because that's next anyways. The passive, it's not much to say.
Light binding. Lux shoots a sphere of light in the target direction that deals magic damage to the first 2 enemies hit and roots them for 2 seconds. So yeah, a root lets you use abilities and auto attack, not a stun.
Right.
You could catch people out with this pretty good if you like. Obviously, I feel like people forget that it hits the first 2 targets. So if like it's a minion in front of you, you can just kind of slap them around with that.
Right.
The width says 140. I'm pretty sure I've been hit by some bullshit Lux Qs when I'm
absolutely.
Which feels like every fucking ability in this game. I didn't realize the base damage was so high. 80 to 240 with 60% AP. I mean, obviously it's much better to go full fucking nuke on this bitch.
Oh, for sure, glass cannon. Glass cannon for sure. But yeah, not much else to say about that. Even if you're immune, oh, here's a little thing to say about it. If you're like Gwen or Morgana with like a spell shield, or like a Sivir with a spell shield, even if you're immune to the root, it still passes through. It doesn't stop the projectile.
Right.
Unless you're Braum and you block it with your W. Okay, I guess we moved on to the W.
Yeah.
We'll do the old W. Prismatic Wave. So this is our only old ability. It had 2 parts. So passive, Lux's cooldowns are reduced. It reduced by 3 to 15% based on rank of the ability. So okay, that's back when it was cooldowns and not ability haste. The active fires a wave to the target location and back, instantly stealthing any allied champions for 3 seconds. Lux is also struck by the wave upon return. So that's pretty nuts. I didn't know that was a thing.
That's pretty OP.
It's cool though. It makes sense because like she deals with light, right? Like Lux is a short for light. It's a Latin base for light, and so like if she can control light like that, yeah, it's pretty cool. Like, oh yeah, I control light to stealth you.
Dang, and it was invisibility. It's just
They called it stealthing. I guess that's invisibility, except for true sight, right?
well, yeah, because hold on. Stealth units shimmer their character model for 0.6 seconds whenever they take damage. Okay.
I think that's new. I don't think that was in the game when this was in the game.
I'm just trying to think if like, but let's see. Like it wouldn't work like how like a Twitch queue is, right? If you're standing right next to them, you would not see them.
Oh no! I think this is. Oh shit! No, you're right. This is invisibility.
Confused.
Yeah, this is invisibility, not camouflage. They didn't have that mechanic back then. I don't.
That is
think.
a whole nother fucking discussion. The difference.
That is. That is. I think that was relatively new. Because like if you were invisible, you were just fucking invisible.
Stupid.
Unless you had True Sight, obviously. True Sight works. The only one I think True Sight never worked on was Kazakh's ult.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was the old prismatic wave. It had a cooldown of 22 to 14, but obviously she got free 15%. So that's a nice little self stacker. So now onto her new W, prismatic barrier. So they probably said the invisibility is fucking OP. So let's move on to something less OP and let's give her a shield instead. So active, Lux throws her wand in the target direction that homes back to her after reaching maximum range. Allied champions hit by the wand gain a shield for 2.5 seconds, which can stack up to 2 times, stacking with the previous shield and refreshing its duration. Lux receives the shield upon throwing the wand and upon its return. Relatively low mana, 60 to 80 mana, cooldown 14 to 10. One of the things that is nice is that you can actually throw this in a bush and see what's in a bush. Like that's like a good way to use this. Shield strength was 40 to 100 with a 35% AP ratio.
Isn't that the E?
No, I think you can throw a W in a bush and C in a bush as well. I believe. I could be wrong. I think you could do that.
All right,
though.
I'm loading.
Unless they took that off. Yeah.
Let's test it. I know the E does.
The W might have used to back in the day too when they first came out, maybe. Because it's just a prismatic thing, like it would make sense. But I'm trying to look and I don't see it in here, so I can't
I'll tell you in 2 seconds if it can do it.
Yeah, no, you're good. But yeah, so the reason the shield strength is so low is because it got to a point where people were actually playing Shield Max Lux in the bot lane. And it was actually fucking disgusting when like you think of Lux as a support champ, like she's gonna blow people up. And to have a Shield Max Lux was like, well, we're just working on probably like the least important part of her kit because she really is a damage dealer. And it was kind of nuts that I thought people were just working on it like that. You know what I mean?
Well, it's nice that the shield stacks. I think that's pretty
No, it is.
I mean, I don't even think.
I think it only stacks on her though. It used to stack on others, and I think they had taken that out recently because it used to be like a pass through. It would go and then come back and it would stack, but I think it only just refreshes.
No, I'm pretty sure it stacks. It says Lux throws her wand, granting blah 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 for 2.5 seconds to allies. It passes through. Then it returns, granting the same shield on its return, and then the notes say both instances of shield can stack.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty... Yeah, let me see. How the fuck...
Nice.
Where the fuck is the move? I always am a fucking boomer. Here we go. Yeah, the W doesn't grant vision.
Okay.
Had to test that out. That would have been fucking insane if that did. Okay. All right, moving down to her E, Lucent Singularity. Active Lux sends a Lucent Singularity to the target location, remaining there for 5 seconds to grant sight of the area and slow nearby enemies. Lucent Singularity can be recast at any time while it is in flight or within the duration, and does so automatically after the duration. Recast. Lux detonates the Singularity, dealing magic damage to enemies within. If Lucent Singularity was cast while in flight, it will detonate upon arrival. The slow lingers for 1 second after leaving the area. Enemies hit by Lucent Singularity's detonation are also slowed by the same amount for 1 second. So it double applies, which is I'm assuming, because obviously if you're sitting in it, you're slowed, and then, or does it?
When you pop it, I think it just refreshes that slow.
For 1 second, okay.
Yeah, I don't think it really quite stacks, but yeah.
No, I don't think it would. Okay. So it's regardless if it's another second of being slowed.
Right.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I mean, this ability is awesome. The fact that it can just grant sight at 1100 range is fucking fat. The slow is 25 to 45. Awesome.
Well, what's cool about the sight too is like you can throw it somewhere and it grants sight as it's moving. So whatever it moves across, it's granting sight of. It's not true sight. It's just sight.
No, but yeah, no, it's sight. It's fucking great.
Right. If Teemo's in the bush, you're not going to see him unless you hit him with it. Even then, you might not see him. He might just flash up, and it's hard to see because when it goes off, it kind of creates like a little flash, so it might be hard to even see. But yeah, that's just a little note.
Damage 70 to 270 with 80% AP. That's pretty good.
Yep.
Yeah, there's not much else to say about the Luxie.
Right. I mean, it is what it is. Pretty straightforward. Mm-hmm. Like I said, it's your wave clear ability, so it costs a lot in terms of mana, 70 to 110.
Yeah.
But it's got a decently fast missile speed at 1200. I think is that faster than her Q? No, her Q is also 1200. So they're decently fast, but they're still kind of slow moving. Like it's hard to explain, but yeah, they're it's like a bread and butter ability for her, obviously. Mm-hmm. But all right, on to Finalis Funkeln, aka Final Spark. Active, Lux fires a massive laser in a line in the target direction that deals magic damage to enemies hit and reveals them for 1.5 seconds, as well as granting sight of the surrounding area. She yells "by the light" when she should be yelling "Kamehameha" or "I'm a firing my laser." It's got a 200 width. The width is a bunch of bullshit, by the way. Yeah. It's got a 3,400 unit range, so it's a very long range. It is that like quarter map maybe? It's pretty long. It does consume the passive, like I said earlier, and then it reapplies the passive as well. So the Q ulti combo is fucking fantastic if you can get it. Land the Q, drop the ulti, it will consume the mark, reapply a mark, and then you can auto attack and pop the mark again if you didn't kill him. This is like her signature ability. It's on the shortest goddamn cooldowns in the world, 60 to 40, and your building ability haste. The thing's up like every 10 seconds. Do you remember back when they had the
when you get a kill enemy refunds?
Yeah, like if an enemy died within like 2 seconds of you landing the ability on them, you would get like a fucking 50% refund.
Yeah, that was bullshit.
It's like you could wipe like 2 or 3 people, late game, and then just have it back up again and just use it again. Fucking disgusting.
Yeah, this thing hits like a truck. 300 to 500 with a 120% AP plus whatever your passive is at.
It does have a 1 second cast time, so you do have to actually stand there and cast it. One thing to note is you cannot stop it from going off unless you blow her ass up. Mm-hmm. There is nothing you're going to do. Like a root doesn't stop it. Some abilities when people are channeling, but it's not even a channel. Like, I don't think Cassidy can stop it with his Q even. The
Or
only
like
way
a
to
silence.
stop it, like an interrupt.
I was to say like a
I guess the
Soraka
silence to interrupt. Right, right. But I don't think that stops it either. Like, once
Yeah, I
she
don't think
starts
so.
casting, it doesn't have a little bar. It just takes a second to
Is it
actually go
like
off.
a Ezreal ult? Ezreal ult goes off no matter what.
Right, right.
Or
The only way to
Tristana
stop it
W.
is you have to kill him before he fucking drops, or before it actually
Mm-hmm.
leaves the bow. So yeah, I think it's just like that.
Okay. Yeah, but I know anybody who's listening has had a dragon or a baron fucking stolen by a motherfucking Lux ult. So
Yeah, she's kind of known for that, right? Lux and Ezreal are kind of known to be like the objective thieves, if that makes sense. But
all right,
okay, most
we
important
got
question.
we got a big array of skins here.
Does this champion have the most prestige skins, by the way?
Most prestige.
She's got Prestige Battle Academia, Prestige Battle Academia 2022, Prestige Porcelain.
I know Miss Fortune has two.
Does she? Okay, okay.
All right.
Dude, this is a tough question. Like, part of me wants to say it's definitely Elementalist Lux. That's like the obvious answer. But I don't know if you're ready for this one. The cosmic ones, like the Dark Cosmic and the Cosmic, are super fucking cool, and I'm definitely a fan of the Dark Cosmic. Her playing Beat Saber in the dance
No, it's
is
sick.
a huge selling point.
Sick as fuck.
She could get rid of Imperial and Commando and even Sorceress. Those are
I kind of fucks with Commando just because, like, same thing with like, no, sorry, it's Steel Legion.
Steel
I
Legion.
like
Yeah, Steel Legion's
Steel
cool.
Legion's- yeah,
Commando.
Space Mission. Yeah, Space Marine.
Right, right. I'm cool with Spell Thief. Spell Thief's kind of interesting. The updated artwork for Spell Thief, I think, is actually really good. And then obviously she's got Star Guardian and Pajam Guardian and whatnot. But if I had to pick one, I think I'm going Dark Cosmic Lux, dude.
Yeah, I'd probably have to agree with you on that one.
And like the little storyline on it's good too. Like, so Cosmic, the storyline, which is this like the good side, I guess. Cosmic says, the right hand of Queen Ash, Lux weaves celestial constellations, bringing order to a universe drifting towards entropy. When the Dark Star began corrupting members of the Cosmic Court, Lux stepped forward to confront Thresh. Yet she harbors a terrible secret, a shard of darkness that has always lived within her heart, whispering temptations. And then you got Dark Cosmic. It says, once the right hand of Queen Ash, Lux embraced the darkness in her heart, answering the mad call of the Dark Star. Finally seeing the truth, she rejects the Cosmic Court, instead serving her own dark ambition to quiet the banal noise of creation. For she now knows her true fate, to reign as queen of a dark court and rightful master of the Dark Star.
Dun dun dun.
Right. So it was cool. I think I actually might have both of these. Let me look.
I think I do.
Now. And I don't think I bought them both. I think I got one out of out of a thing. Let's see, Lux.
Yeah, I mean,
I do.
very good for like a beginner champion too.
Yeah.
I would say. She's pretty fun. She's also like, if you're playing ARAM and you get a Lux, you're playing Lux. Like, it's fun.
Oh, absolutely. You can play Lux like the biggest bitch too, and just sit in the back, and like you could go like 10-0 before you like back with 6,000-7,000 gold. But yeah, that's all I got about Lux. Unless you got anything else to add.
Nope, that is it.
And now I think it's time we move on to Swain. And this is probably the biggest one here.
Mm-hmm.
So, ChatGPT, we pre-rendered the response just so we'd have it ready to go. We asked him if you could. What exactly did we say? Could you? Can you tell me about the League of Legends champion Swain, his abilities, and his playstyle? ChatGPT, as Dan came back, said, absolutely. Swain is a mage champion in League of Legends who is well known for his ability to control the battlefield through his dark magic. He has several unique abilities that make him a formidable foe on the Rift. Swain's passive ability is Ravenous Flock, which periodically drains nearby enemies' health and restores mana to Swain. Okay. Additionally, Swain can use his ultimate ability, also called Ravenous Flock, to transform into a giant demon bird that deals massive area of effect damage to nearby enemies, while also restoring his health based on damage dealt. Swain's Q ability, Death's Hand, allows him to send out a wave of dark energy that damages all enemies it passes through. If the wave hits an enemy champion, Swain restores some of his mana. Alright. Swain's W ability, Vision of Empire, allows him to send out a raven that reveals a large area of the map and damages enemies hit by it. If the raven hits an enemy champion, they are briefly rooted in place. Swain's E ability, Never Move, allows him to summon a demonic hand that roots all enemies in an area after a brief delay. If an enemy is hit by both Never Move and Vision of Empire, they are briefly stunned. Okay. Swain's playstyle is focused on controlling the battlefield with his crowd control and damage dealing abilities, while also sustaining himself with his ultimate and passive abilities. He's most effective when played in the middle lane, but can also be played in the top lane as a bruiser. Overall, Swain is a versatile champion with a unique playstyle that can be a valuable addition to any team comp.
Man, that might be one of the worst ones.
It's right, like, but it's wrong.
It's like 60%. It's like 60% there.
Right. It fucks up in the minor details. You know what I mean?
Yeah. We'll get to you guys will find out about.
We'll get to both Ravenous Flocks.
All right. So here we go. Swain. When was he reworked? It's gotta be. It's been a while, man. I want to say like 7 years.
I don't know.
Maybe
I don't think it's been that long. I think it's been 3.
No way. When? Who? When? Come
okay, maybe it's been longer than I thought.
8.3?
8.3, the relaunch. Yep.
So 5 years.
Okay.
Okay.
We were both wrong about halfway in the middle.
Long fucking time, dude. All right.
Right.
So let's get into it. Let's look at his old Swain.
This is when Swain turned into fucking Lucius Malfoy.
He's still yeah, right. The rework gave him
yeah. Old Swain.
So yeah, old gross. Swain. Let me look at his. Oh god, his original splash art was horrible.
His very first original. Yeah, I remember that.
The Chinese one looks sick.
The second classic is good. Oh, the Chinese one. Okay.
Yeah, the Chinese one wasn't too terrible. But we're not the skins yet. So
the Raven's kind of gross, but yeah. Anyways.
So old Swain passive. Carry on renewal. Whenever Swain kills an enemy or structure, he restores 13 to 30 based on level mana. On enemy champion takedowns, he instead restores 9% maximum mana. So yeah, this is kind of what ChatGPT was getting at. Lot of fucking mana sustain. You can just kill minions, get your mana back, never have to fucking leave. Very straightforward, very classic Riot passive, short and sweet and to the point.
Right.
And then moving on to his current passive, Ravenous Flock, innate. Enemy champions that die will leave behind a soul fragment for 16 seconds, which can be collected by Swain after 1 second. Swain's ravens collect nearby soul fragments, as well as with Vision of Empire and Never Move. Soul fragment. For each stack, Swain gains 12 bonus health. Upon collection, he will heal for 3 to 6% based on level of his maximum health. So there you go. We're swapping out mana restoration for health and restoration.
Right.
And infinite scaling.
Infinite scaling is the big part. I mean, 12 bonus health is disgusting, and like, this is a champion that makes really good use of Demonic Embrace. Like, oh yeah, look at all this bonus health you're getting just to add to your Demonic Embrace power, you know? So, it's pretty fucking gross.
Yes, it is. All right.
Alright, Swain's old Q is called Decrepify. Weird fucking name. Active, Swain deploys Beatrice. For those of you that don't know, Beatrice was the name of his raven that sat on his shoulder. Swain deploys Beatrice to the target location for 4 seconds. Beatrice will attack any enemy within the area, prioritizing the target of Torment, which is another old ability, other champions in range, and then any target in range. Beatrice attacks each second, dealing magic damage and slowing the target hit. Beatrice deals double damage against minions and executes those below 10 health. So she did magic damage 30 to 100 plus 30% AP, which meant at max she would do 120 to 400 with 120% AP ratio.
That's a lot.
Yes, if you can get all those onto somebody, it's a lot.
Yeah.
It did have a decently long cooldown, 14 to 10, so it wasn't like it was necessarily super easy, but yeah. The slow was 20 to 40%, and the increased damage per second is literally just double. I don't think I need to go over that. Basically 60 to 200 with a 60% AP ratio, so that's against minions. Swain's current Q, Death's Hand. If you've ever seen Star Wars Episode 3, you think of Palpatine saying, "Unlimited power!" That's basically Death's Hand. The fucking lightning that comes out of it. Except for in this game, it's Eldritch magic. So this is active. Swain unleashes 5 bolts of Eldritch power over basically a quarter second in a cone in the target direction that deal magic damage to enemies hit. Subsequent bolts against enemies deal bonus magic damage. It's very hard to hit subsequent bolts on the same fucking enemy. So
Yeah, you
I don't know why that's even in there. Yeah, I don't, because you're never point blank with them. Like, I don't know why that's in there. But magic damage is 60 to 140 with a 38% AP ratio. The bonus damage is 12 to 52 with an 8% AP ratio, which means your total bonus damage could be as high as 108 to 348 with a 70% AP ratio. That's point fucking blank total damage there. So, not much to say. It's a very short range ability. It only has 725 range. Doesn't cost too much of the mana department, 45 to 65. But Swain's not one that builds a lot of mana, so it can be costly because it's spammable. A 7 to 3 second cooldown. And then it has like an angle spread of 32 degrees. So I don't know how you're going to figure that out while playing the game. It exists.
Yeah, you're, again, typical like wave clear kind of
Right.
poke ability. Effect range 725. It's not crazy long, but it's you can poke from a distance. All right, moving on to his old W, Never Move. Active Swain marks the target area, and after a 0.875 second delay, talons grab onto enemy units within, dealing magic damage and rooting them for a short duration. Damage was 80 to 240 with a 70% AP ratio, and then the root duration was 1 to 2 seconds. Yeah, I remember this ability. The animation was kind of wonky. Just like these claws come up and grab you.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that. You're right. It was kind of...
It looked weird. W, his current W, Vision of Empire. Active, Swain summons a demonic eye at the target location that grants sight of the area for 2 seconds and explodes after 1.5 seconds, dealing magic damage to enemies within, halved against minions, and slowing them for 2.5 seconds. Enemy champions hit are also revealed for the duration and have a soul fragment collected from them. Magic damage is 80 to 220 with a 55% AP ratio. The slow is set 25 to 65, and then the reveal duration is 4 to 8 seconds.
Damn, I didn't realize the reveal scaled like that.
Yeah, and then also the range of his ability scales 5,500 to 7,500 range. That is almost, if you're standing in mid lane and you have this max, I'm pretty sure you could just about hit anywhere on the map.
I know you can hit the side lanes. I don't know how deep in the side lanes you can hit, but you can certainly hit the side lanes if you're standing dead center of the map. It's a pretty gross ability, though.
It's sick. I love this ability.
It looks so cool. It just reminds me of the Sauron eye.
No, that's exactly what it is. It's interesting because like the one thing we didn't mention is his name change. He used to be called the Master Tactician, and now he's the Grand General of Noxus, or the Noxian Grand General. So it's like the W plays into that tactician kind of thematic,
Right.
But I think like in lore, he like does a coup of Noxus and just completely takes over.
Yeah,
So that's what he's at right now.
Doesn't he? I think he opposes Darius, right? I think in the lore. I don't have it up, but I think he challenges Darius for the general of a Noxian army. He's actually his lore is actually just badass, and like the whole demonic thing was a really, really, really good replacement for his old Whatever the fuck you call that. Okay. I don't think we have anything else to say about Never Move.
Nope.
So we'll move on to his old E, Torment, which was mentioned in the Q. Active, Swain afflicts the target enemy with a curse that amplifies Swain's damage against them by 20% for 4 seconds, while also dealing magic damage to them for the duration. So basically, you got a DOT, and you would deal extra damage to them. So the enhanced magic damage per second was 15 to 51 with a 30% AP ratio, which meant your total enhanced magic damage is 60 to 204 with a 120% AP ratio.
Yeah, it's kind of weird that it's a damage enhancer and it does damage.
It's very weird.
So it's always going to do more damage.
Right. And this was especially gross if you had Deathfire Grasp, obviously. Back in the day, that was an item that existed, and you just got, like, you drop the Torment, the Deathfire, the DFG, and you drop the fucking, the Q and the ulti, and they're just not getting away. They just burst the fuck out of them. His new E is now called Never Move. So a little bit of a replacement on the old W, and it was moved over. And they took a little bit of the thematics from that as well. The old Never Move kind of had like a little claw type of thing. They just decided with Swain's, is it his right hand that's demonic now? His left hand. He sounds like a visage of that out, so... It says here, Never Moves. Swain launches a demonic wave in the target direction that deals magic damage to enemies hit. At max range, the wave homes back to Swain and detonates upon the first enemy hit, dealing magic damage to nearby enemies and rooting them for 1.5 seconds, during which they are revealed. Never Move can be recast while champions hit are rooted. The recast, Swain pulls the rooted champions for over 290 units and collects a soul fragment from each of them. If the targets would be brought past Swain, they're instead knocked back the excess distance. I didn't know that, but I don't think I ever run into that issue. You don't want to be in melee range as you're playing Swain. Magic damage is pretty solid, so you can hit it twice. 35 to 175 with a 25% AP ratio, which means your total, you would do 70 to 250 with a 50% AP ratio if you hit both instances. So that includes the hit and the pull. Back when he first came out, you could... Can you only pull one? No, I think you pull as many rooted champions. You used to be able to pull other champions, too. It was part of his passive.
Yeah, because you had to right-click.
That's right, yeah.
But no, yeah, that was one thing I was going to mention is you can hit multiple people with one claw and yoink them and heal a fuck ton.
Right.
From your passive.
The soul fragments. And if you can hit it and then time your W in the right spot, too, you can double dip on that, too.
No, this is a great harass ability just because minions won't stop that pullback. So, like, if someone's fighting in the minions, you can still get them. Like, you just throw it through the minions and grab them. So, they're not safe behind their minions.
Yeah, they're actually only safe, I think, in front of them. Mm-hmm. Because only on the pullback does it stop on the first enemy hit there. So, one thing to note, if you're playing against Swain, if you can fight in or farm in your minion lane, you'll take the damage, but you won't be rooted, so he can't fucking pull you closer to him. But again, you don't really want to be that close to him either if you can avoid it. So,
all right, finally moving on to his ulti, Ravenous Flock. It was a toggle. Swain assumes the form of a demonic raven. While in the form, lesser ravens strike out one every 0.2 seconds at up to 5 nearby enemies and dealing magic damage to them, prioritizing champions. Each enemy can only be attacked by a raven at a time, one raven at a time, and only once per second. Swain heals himself for a small amount against minions and monsters, and a bigger amount against enemy champions. Magic damage was 50 to 90 with a 20% AP ratio. Heal per Raven versus non-champions was 8 to 13 with a 3% AP ratio. And then heal per Raven versus champions was 20 to 40 with a 12% AP ratio. So obviously, I remember playing a lot of this and just, I loved toggle abilities, but it was kind of problematic because, like, so it was 25 mana per second plus 5 per additional second. It was on a 20-second cooldown, so it was very short, and then the range was 700. So yeah, back in the day, you could just kind of fucking face tank a bunch of motherfuckers.
Right.
And
I mean, they kept the idea of the fact that he's a drain tank,
yeah,
which is good. Uh, his old model actually didn't look bad when he toggled it on, but the crow looked terrible.
yeah, it looked bad. All right, moving on to his current ulti, Demonic Ascension. Active Swain frees the demons within, gaining Demonic Ascension and generating 50 demonic energy. Demonic Ascension is maintained with demonic energy, which decays by 5 every half second, increased to 7.5 after 5 seconds have elapsed. That is a fucking mouthful. Swain generates 10 demonic energy every half second while draining from at least one enemy champion, and fully restores it to the maximum of 50 upon a champion takedown. Demonic Ascension. Swain is ghosted and drains the life force of nearby enemies, both dealing magic damage and healing himself each second per target affected. The heal is reduced by 90% against minions and monsters. Never move cooldown is also reduced by 20%.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, I think they added that when they changed it.
Yeah.
After 2 seconds, Swain can recast Demon Flare and does so automatically when Demonic Ascension expires. The targets do not have to be visible to be hit by this ability. And then Demon Flare, Swain releases a Nova of Soulfire that deals magic damage to nearby enemies and slows them by 60%, decaying over 1.5 seconds. So when they first reworked him, it was kind of bullshit. You had to like collect 5 soul fragments to be able to use this ability.
Forgot about that.
And then they wanted to play around, like they want to bring back the infinite duration ulti. Much better. It's much more fun. Lives up to that fantasy.
Right.
But yeah, so magic damage per tick was 20 to 60 with a 10% AP ratio. And then the heal per tick was 15 to 40 with an 18% AP ratio. And then if you're for some reason using this against Baron or like minions, I'm not even going to read the numbers because it's insulting. There's no point to use it. It's so minuscule. And then
1.5 to 4.
Why? That's even.
You know what? It's there because when you are walking through minion waves, you are healing, or maybe running away. You are getting some sort of healing. But 1.5 to 4 health plus 1% AP ratio is
You're not going to
1.8%. Yeah, you're not. No.
And then Demon Flare's damage was 150 to 300 plus 60% AP.
Yeah, Demon Flare is like the ultimate drain tank ability, and like you get to be right in the mix and just chase people down. You want to pop the Demon Flare when you think someone's gonna get away or when you're gonna execute someone, pretty much, because you get that 60% slow, but it's only a second and a half and it does decay. So you want to try to just pop somebody with that, but it's a pretty gross looking, like gross in a good way though, looking ability. Like just the way it explodes out from Swain in the center, I think it's pretty cool.
I feel like if you're playing Swain, you have to run Ghost because like if someone's just a little bit quicker than you, you just run away, and then his ulti runs out.
Right.
So. That is Swain.
That is.
All right, skin time, baby.
Skin me. I think it's a tough question, dude.
I think I might hit you with his original splash art.
It's good.
I think it's sick.
It's good. This is what I'm gonna say. And I thoroughly enjoy Dragon Master. I think it's really good. Bilgewater is really good, and so is Tyrant. Hextech is kind of mid. I wanted Hextech to be better, but it's kind of just okay. But if I had to pick one, Bilgewater is like, I don't know why it's called Bilgewater because it's super anime. But Bilgewater or Dragon Master, and it's because I really enjoy the Dragon Master chromas.
Yeah, they are pretty sick.
But yeah, that's all I got.
That is Swain. Yeah, that is it, guys. Thank you once again for joining us on this Friday. As always, make sure you are liking, commenting, reviewing, sharing with all your friends. Hit that link tree in the description of wherever you're listening to right now. Come join the Discord. That's where you can get updates on things like when we're going to be doing a giveaway in like a month or so when we hit episode 150. And then I want to get people on to next Friday. We have LeBlanc and Aurelia. So obviously Aurelia had a pretty fat update.
Right.
Trundle, Cassiopeia, Caitlyn, Renekton, Karma, Maokai, Jarvan. If any of these champions are your main, let's come on and let's we want to have people. Yeah, tell us about your champion, something we don't play, and maybe know some tricks and tips. So
yeah. That would be awesome. I would love to see it. I would certainly be happy to talk to you guys about them too. So
yeah, guys. Next week we'll be back with the patch. I think. Yeah, patch comes out next week.
Yeah.
Hope y'all are having fun. I don't know what the fuck I was gonna say.
I don't know, but
no one has fun in this game.
I just do want to briefly apologize if there are any technical difficulties. It's been a day during this recording, so thanks for hanging in there with us. I appreciate it. I'm sure Dean appreciates it as well.
Mm-hmm.
Now get out there, go kick some ass in this game and rank up, all right?
Don't ever say rank up.
Ever again.
To our listeners. Yeah, go rank up. All right, guys, we'll see you next week. All right.
Later, y'all.
Thanks for watching, everybody. Make sure to like the video and sub to the channel if you haven't already. Click right here to see the previous episode of the According to Low Elo podcast. Click right here to see the most recent gameplay video. Thanks again.